Going live in 3, 2.
I think we're live.
They said action. Hey there, party people. Welcome back to the Fireside Chat. I see we have one viewer. Welcome.
I think we are that one viewer.
Are we that one viewer? Is that how it
Most
works?
likely. I think so.
That
But
would
maybe
make
not.
sense. Hello, 865 The Vibe, the Fireside Chat. Jackie C.
And Shady V.
And Shady V. And, well, we never just hop right into it. So, Shade, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Doing pretty all right. How about yourself, Jackie?
I'm just a little bit.
In the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that in a second. But how's your water going? Exercise?
Water's okay. I need to still do a little bit better with my exercise. Still getting a little bit back into that. But water is good.
Stretching?
No stretching today. You need to do that one too.
Maybe we'll stretch after this. Okay. Oh, goodness.
Good one.
It is. It'll definitely keep you drinking water and stretching will definitely keep you feeling and looking young.
Yeah.
I think those are some of the secrets. Make sure you all are doing that.
You want to be limber. It helps with everything.
For sure. I definitely need to stretch more. I'm excited to work out tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited. That being said, I'm also excited for this. Let's hop right into it. So, the news item of the day. I don't know whether to call it Wall Street bets versus Wall Street or whether to say Robin Hood works for the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Those are both good.
If we have like headlines at the bottom,
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Wall Street Bets is a Reddit group. And basically they short squeeze, if I think I'm using the term right. Matt's going to come on and talk about tomorrow, but we're going to get into it just a little bit tonight because it can't like go without being talked about. It's really, really significant. As you know, Wall Street, for those of you who don't know, those are people who buy stocks up, sell stocks, typically in a group, a hedge fund, something like that. That being said, so Wall Street Bets is like ordinary people. Wall Street is like the wealthy 1%ers. You follow me so far?
Yep.
You think everybody at home is following me? Okay, so Wall Street decides to take a short out on GameStop. Several other things. The best way to describe a short is say there's a stock for $10 and you short it. If it goes down, you make the money that it goes down. And if it goes up, you would lose said money. You would have to pay that back. Is like the easiest way to describe it. So say GameStop is at 14 and you short it, it goes up to $300, you would maybe have to declare bankruptcy. Like apparently a hedge fund has.
Good to know. And
so this is it's significant because it is I don't want to say the lower class, but it is the working class. That's probably the better term. It's the working class finally finding a way to win.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. We saw GameStop go up from 14 to 300. AMC went up from 4 to 25. Dogecoin was less than a penny, and now it's 7 cents.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
7 times, guys. That's a lot.
It's crazy. And so that's the first reason it's significant is it was the working class finding out a way to win, right? But then the second reason it's significant is because we found out that Robinhood, and it's not just Robinhood, but several other trading apps actually don't work for the people. And it's really sad that Robinhood took that name and, kind of went this route.
Yeah.
I think it's very disappointing for a lot of people, especially like the kids who grew up as Robinhood fans, like myself. Like I was like, man, that is wicked ugly indeed. And so they took down several stocks so that people couldn't buy them anymore. So in other words,
Because
the
they
stock
started
had to go
doing
down.
well. It was
Yep.
purely in response to they didn't want to see those numbers get any better, and people were making it happen. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. I had my Republican insider text me saying it is criminal, quote unquote,
I would agree with that.
least. And we've heard voices from both sides. We've heard AOC is upset about it. Ted Cruz is upset about it. Donald Trump Jr. is upset about it. And so you have Republicans and Democrats, both inside and outside of Congress. They're very upset about this. This is definitely something we could see, something bipartisan happen. But anything is possible. And so Congress is, they're about to open a hearing in the House of Representatives, but it's really interesting.
It is.
Because while all this is happening, yesterday we heard from the Biden administration. I almost said the Biden campaign. We heard from the Biden administration.
We're past that.
Yeah, way past that. We heard from them that they were, quote unquote, monitoring the situation. Today we've heard nothing. They've been eerily silent. Now, they have a saying, a lot of people like it when it's for them. A lot of people don't like it when it's not for them. But it's that silence in the face of oppression is the oppressor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Meaning that, like, right now, while Robinhood is doing what it's doing and stuff and things like that are happening, the Biden administration, you're hearing from AOC, you're hearing from Ted Cruz, you're hearing from Donald Trump Jr. Why isn't the Biden administration saying anything?
Right.
And I think it's interesting to note, I found a little article today. It was written in October, and apparently Wall Street, $74 million went to the Biden campaign.
Is that so?
Yep. And so it would seem that I'm not going to say that the Biden administration isn't going to be on the side of the people, because I think that would be unfair to say this early. But what I will say is this isn't a good look as of right now. Something needs to be said.
Agreed.
So we're going to let Market Matt talk about all of it more tomorrow. But Dogecoin right now is soaring. GameStop and AMC are, and I believe Naked. There's another one I can't think of. There's a few of them. American Airlines, those are all down, but apparently they're going to come back up. And so he'll talk more about that tomorrow. The reason, and I'm not going to get into it too much, that we advise everybody not to get involved in this type of business is because the way a stock works is simple. As everybody buys into that stock, the price goes up.
Yeah.
But eventually, everybody's going to get out. And if everybody gets out before you, you might get caught holding the bag. And so, for example, I was in AMC. I got in at $4. I got out at, I think I got out at 20 or 21. But right now it's down to like 12. And it might go up higher, but even if it does, I can always buy back in and have more shares and then make more money. But the point is when you do that, it's tricky because you could be, stuck holding the bag. Especially if you buy high because you never know when it's going to fall, if that makes sense. So like if you were to buy, say you were one of the people who decided you're going to buy in on AMC when it hit 23 or 24 and then it went straight back down, you lost money.
Right.
So a lot of people are saying that the money isn't the point and that's not what matters. But for us on the show, the number one goal is, we're your virtual roommates. We're not going to advise you to mess up your money because we don't want you missing rent.
Yep. That's a good point. Good point.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let's talk about our policy question of the day. We were thinking about, should Democrats and Republicans try to work together? Specifically, should the Democrats be trying to actively work with Republicans going here forward, or should they really be trying to do things through their own party? Jay, thoughts on that?
I think it depends. It's funny because the landscape of politics is always changing so much. Like right now, you have an opportunity, it looks like, to see Democrats and Republicans work together to create common sense reform. Because what happened, like, with Wall Street right now and like Wall Street bets is so blatantly criminal. It's so blatantly corrupt. It's one of those things where it's like anybody with two eyes knows that this isn't right. We all know this isn't right. And a lot of us were alive in 2007 and 2008 and 2009 when we had to, bail out Wall Street, bail out the auto industry, all these bailouts at the expense of the taxpayer. And I don't know. So I think that to some extent you have places where you can work together. Unfortunately, you also have issues. You have a lot of things coming up where you can't. Right now, the Democrats want to kick out Marjorie Taylor Greene from the House of Representatives. She's a QAnon supporter. She's like openly racist. Like she's proud of it. She's elected in the House because the person running against her dropped out. So she ran unopposed. And, but she's like, openly racist or whatever. She told a Parkland parent that like your kid actually didn't die in a shooting. There's a government, like you actors need to stop.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this girl is nuts. And so Democrats want her kicked out, but it takes 2/3. Republicans aren't going to help them in the House. And then it takes 2/3 to impeach Trump. And once again, Republicans are going to leave him hanging in the Senate. So in both cases, if you're a Democrat, you probably feel betrayed. AOC said today to Ted Cruz, like, it's because of you that my life was in jeopardy. It's because of you people came to the Capitol and they wanted to hurt me. And whether or not that's true or not, that's the way that, folks feel. And so between y'all and me, I feel like there's places they can work together. I feel like there's places they can't. There's like infrastructure would be another good one. But at the same time, think something like a Green New Deal, which is the infrastructure Democrats are looking for, you won't find with Republicans. But I think that the first question that needs to be addressed is, can Democrats go it alone? And I think the answer is no. I think that even if you got rid of the filibuster, I think that Joe Manchin is totally unreliable from West Virginia. I think that, and I think a lot of, Republicans would disagree. I think it's one of those things where it's like the way Republicans feel about Susan Collins or, I don't know, Jeff Flake or somebody like that. Like, oh, they're not actually reliable, blah, blah, blah. But no, I feel like if you try to go it alone, you never will because of Joe Manchin. But at the same time, I feel like it'll be interesting to go back to the American people in 2022 to try and get more seats and say, like, we didn't get anything done. And the Republicans aren't going to help you. And so it really depends. I think if you do decide to go it alone and say you can, you get Joe Manchin on board. Because like I said, I don't necessarily think that they can. But let's say they can. I think that they have to issue an ultimatum to Mitch McConnell. The ultimatum will be simple. You'll work with us on, and we'll tell him several key, policy positions that he's going to work with us on. And either A, he's going to do that, or B, we're going to spend this entire time making sure that Republicans always stay in the minority. And what I mean by that is, right now, if there's no filibuster and Democrats decide to pass whatever they want, they can make Puerto Rico and D.C. a state. That gives them 4 extra Senate seats right off the bat and 2 extra House seats. That'll be nice. Then, and it gives them, I think Puerto Rico, I'm not sure if Puerto Rico's already counted in the presidential election. I know D.C. obviously is 3 points. But that'd be the first thing you would do. The next thing that you would do is a comprehensive immigration reform that allows anybody who, is an illegal immigrant to come forward. And if they haven't committed any crimes, they can test and automatically become a citizen. Fast track it, you can be a citizen in 30 days. Then right after they become citizens, you register them to vote. And that tilts places like Arizona into your favor. That might help you out in places like Texas. That'll give you advantages in places like Georgia. And I think coupled with that, and I think, I think those are 2 solid moves to start. I think that another one would be, giving felons their voting rights back. I think that helps you in inner city areas and places like Atlanta. I feel like that helps you out in Georgia. I feel like that'll help you out in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. If you look at like Philadelphia, I think that the goal, would be to make it easier for everybody to vote. I would make it so that people can vote online. You have a secure system. Think about that. You just log in with your social security number and you can vote online. Something like that. Or you move voting to a Saturday, or you make voting 1 week. Like you have 1 week to go to the polls. So any day you have
that one I liked.
And
voting definitely was a good one.
And so you make it so that it's easier for people to vote. You make it so that more people can vote. I think you do things like that.
Their turnout will be so much higher.
Yep, and then you bring in those 4 extra Senate seats. You move in that, extra, voting block with illegal immigrants, and you pull in that voting block. And I think you put Republicans in the minority forever. You tell them you will never come back into the majority, fellas. Never.
That would be the move.
Not for a while, anyway. The Republican Party would have to totally rebrand itself.
Which might be, honestly, also the move. Like that.
I don't know that they can. If you look at right now with this Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, and then you look at this Donald Trump stuff. I
personally think that the Republican Party is going to completely diverge. Yeah.
I don't know, because I think that Republicans can always unite themselves just like Democrats around your worst fears about the opposition.
I kind of feel like, but while that's
if you're
true,
a Republican,
I think they're starting to get to the point where they don't see eye to eye. Like they don't agree.
Sure, but if you're a Republican, like it's you and me, right? We're 2 Republicans, and I'm, a Mitch McConnell type, George W. Bush type Republican. You're a Trump type Republican. Regardless of which one of us win, if we tell the other one, like, hey, look in New York and Virginia where they're trying to make it so that, a woman can get an abortion up to the last second of her pregnancy, infant side.
But,
or you talk about, like, they're
to...
coming to take your guns. Like, you see what I'm saying? You talk about things like that.
It boils down to what kind of Republican you are. And I think that's where we're going to start seeing the divide is the gun-toting or often sometimes even religious Republican would be one thing. I think they've got their ideals. They're kind of a social version of Republican. They understand the more social dynamic of what they kind of want. They don't want abortions. They want to be able to keep their guns. They want, small government so that they're not being told what to do or how to do it. Versus corporate Republican, which is totally different and is definitely more invested in business. as well as other things. And I think that's where you're going to start seeing a divide.
For sure, but then you can see them come back together
Maybe.
when they tackle the different aspects of liberalism that they don't like. For example, if I'm a social Republican and you're a corporate Republican,
But if they're being
you
shut
might
out,
say,
man, they're
you
going to
might
need to
say-
attach themselves to something.
you might say, "Oh, I don't like Bernie's healthcare plan, right?
Mhm.
Universal healthcare. Bernie's going to raise tax on the wealthy, blah blah." And I don't like Bernie because Bernie wants gun reforms, and Bernie believes in a woman's right to choose. And so I'm the social Republican. You're the corporate fiscal type of Republican that focuses on that thing. But we can unite around our
Right.
common opposition
You might both
to the
be
Democratic
against Bernie
movement as a
Sanders.
whole.
You might both be against Bernie Sanders, but I can see how one of them would be maybe not about Bernie Sanders,
But maybe pro Joe Biden.
Exactly. And that's all I'm saying is really when you have a sinking ship that right now is the Republican Party, there is not a strong enough grasp on anything in the Republican Party to really hold themselves up. So they're going to have to jump ship. They're going to have to go somewhere. It's going to be somewhere in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at some point they're going to have to change and kind of rebrand themselves.
Exactly.
Again, you know,
that would be the other option.
The
Is
way
instead
that
of joining the
in,
Democratic Party, they'd have to go somewhere else.
The way that they were doing in like 2010 or 2012, you know, when you had like I think it was like Tim Scott and Nikki Haley and Marco Rubio. You had like she's an Indian woman governor. You had like Susana Martinez. Latin American woman governor. You had Tim Scott, black guy senator, Marco Rubio, Hispanic man senator, and you had the Republican Party kind of diversifying, but also, you know, showing, you know, that it can compromise and work with the other side. Like when you see like the Gang of Eight that worked together and got that comprehensive immigration reform. But it would be interesting to see. Right now, I don't see either side. I see this GameStop thing, potentially being a place where they can work together.
Yes, they're going to have to.
But outside of that, I can even see them messing this up. Remember when they had remember we had Black Lives Matter, right? Last summer, and everybody in America was disgusted by what happened with George Floyd. Democrat, Republican, everybody was like, "Wow, I can't believe this." And Republicans came with a bill, and Democrats came with a bill. And neither side would pass each other.
Yeah,
I can kind of
sad.
Yeah,
and so nothing got done.
Absolutely nothing. So I can kind of see it going like that. Fun fact: Joe Biden said that on day one there was going to be police reform, and he has yet to do that. So,
how much police reform would he be able to do day one anyway?
I think he could do a lot through executive orders.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do a lot in regards to the police.
For day one, just to have a lot of executive orders.
Well, he did just around a lot of other different things. I thought it was really interesting. I'm not going to lie to you all. I wasn't a fan of the Keystone Pipeline being built. But once it passed and they started building it, I don't think that canceling it was the right idea. And I think that, you know, a lot of liberals would be mad.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, they would say...
Why would you say that?
Well, I would say that, first and foremost, I would say the damage is done as far as, like, Native American soil goes.
Sure.
You've already soiled it. I would say that the pipeline itself is the safest way to transport the oil at this point, once it's already built. And then the last thing that I would say is those are people's jobs, you know? Like, people, just like Joe Biden got elected, I was like, oh yeah, find a new job. And I was like, that's how you turn people away from...
It is.
Yeah, like...
It is.
Dang, like, I believe in what you're saying, but, like, now I gotta find a new job. It's like, I feel like people in West Virginia are looking at that, and people in Western Pennsylvania, and people in Oklahoma and Texas where there's oil fields and coal. And I feel like that wasn't a good look. And so I feel like once it was done, the damage at that point was done. I don't know, though. I mean, I am an environmentalist, you know. I like the fact he got us back in the Paris Climate Accords. But yeah, he did a lot day one, and he's done a lot so far with executive orders. But I do think not doing anything with police reform, I think that it's a bad look, and I think he might be saving it. If you do that later, and you do that, right before November when Americans can remember it.
Mm-hmm.
You remind the black vote of that in Georgia in 2022 when you need them to turn out to win.
That's a good point.
I think that's a possibility. What do you think? Should the Democrats try to work with the Republicans, or should they go it alone?
I mean, I think no matter what, they're going to have to. I think you're honestly dead on. I think there are things that they're going to have to work together on. I think there are other things that they're going to be stronger if they go it alone. Right now, I think the way that things are, it's like the Democrats really need to find a way to use this time best to their advantage. Really, they need to scramble as much stuff as they possibly can. And if that means that working here and there with Republicans is going to get them more of the things that they need, then that might honestly be the better course of action to do the more that they're able to.
Yeah. No. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I'm glad that you agree with me. I think that's what makes us great partners. Indeed. That being said, shall we move on to Virtual Dating Plus?
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go.
AKA Dear Shade.
Dear Shade, my boyfriend is loaded, but I'm broke. He is 26 male, and I'm 20 female. He is wealthy, but before you ask, not my sugar daddy. Unfortunately, I am very broke and still a student. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I have no idea what to do. I'm new to relationships. I don't know what to buy him since he could have anything he wanted already. Some of my rich friends usually appreciate expensive and useful gifts. I'm stressing out and my budget is very limited. He always takes me out to lunch/dinner and pays for things, even though I've told him countless times he shouldn't. He says he is happy to do so. What do I get him? What should I do?
Okay. Well, honestly, for one, coming as a person who has been kind of in both varieties, I've had more money in my relationship or less money in my relationship, depending. Generally speaking, if someone says that they're happy to pay for something and that they just really like spending time with you, they're probably telling you the truth. Most likely. That's not always the case, but they're probably telling you the truth. I'm sure it doesn't bother him, especially if you've been dating for a while and this has never really been much of a problem. Yeah, he's probably telling you the truth, and I honestly wouldn't worry so much about the material level of what you get him. Instead, you should really be paying attention to what does he like. Everybody has hobbies. Everybody has interests. Everybody has things that they involve themselves in, and if you're trying to get him something for Valentine's Day, if that's your big thing right now, or let's say an anniversary or something like that, well, think about what would make him happy or things that he likes to do. For example, I am a guitar player, and maybe you don't know anything about guitar, but you've seen me look at the same pair of strings or talk about how my strings keep breaking. If you find the strings that I use, which wouldn't be that hard because I leave them laying around, then yeah, you could easily go online on Amazon and just buy me a $5 pair of strings. Like, it would be easy. It's thoughtful. It takes but a second, but try and lean things towards his interest in some way. Maybe he likes computers, so you get him something to clean his electronics, like air spray. Maybe he likes cars, so you get him some microfiber rags and some wax to polish his stuff. Like, whatever. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't even necessarily have to be useful. It's just, be a little thoughtful, regardless of the material value of whatever it is that you're getting. Put thought as to who they are into the gift, and they're going to love it no matter what.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you at some points, and I guess not really disagree with you at other points, but kind of say a different opinion. I would say that while they might not have a problem with spending money on you, if you have a problem with it, if it makes you uncomfortable, you should say something, and maybe there's a compromise to be had. Because I feel like in that scenario, you set yourself up for, oh, well, I did X, Y, and Z for you. You know what I'm saying? And then suddenly you feel bad. Like, oh, I paid for all these dinners.
That would be a much more toxic response to a situation, but it has happened. You're right.
Oh, I feel like in a lot of situations, it's like a power thing, you know? Like he's already.
I mean, I would personally never do that to a person.
Well, I'm sure, but I'm saying like,
this is under the assumption that you have a healthy relationship.
Yeah. So you know, well, I'm saying, you know, if he's 26, you're 20. There's already that dynamic there. He's older. He has, you know, money, and you feel bad about him doing nice things for you. Can easily guilt trip you, emotional, you know, manipulation.
Not that he would do that.
Hopefully. And so, yeah, I was gonna say, so if you truly feel uncomfortable with it, I am a huge believer in, you know, that you have, you know, your gut and your gut feeling. It tell you a lot. And I've heard a number of stories where folks didn't listen to their gut feeling, and damn, they wish they could have. And so that's the first thing I'll say. It's not that I disagree with you, because I actually will agree with you in the sense, and I feel like I've been in both scenarios before, but I will say that when I'm in the scenario where I'm the one with money, it's like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, even when you're amongst your friends, think about it. Like, say, like, I make, well, let's say, like, I have tons of money and you don't. And I'm like, hey, I want to go to MGM. I want to go to MGM. I want you to be at MGM. I have the money to spend. It's my money. I work for it, and I should choose. Think about it. It's my money. This is America. You're supposed to be able to spend it how you want. Like, I want you to be there. If you don't want to be there, fine. You see what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways. But like, I'm saying, like, it's my money. I want to spend it how I want. And if I want you there, and I'm willing to spend that money, and that's how, you know, we're going to do things, then that's 100%, you know, fine. It's only going to annoy them to sit there and argue about it. Like,
and right,
hey, I don't want to spend money. I don't want you spending money on me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have money to spend, and I like you, and I want you to be happy. I want you to smile, and I want to do nice things with you.
And so an example of a compromise that maybe you could bring up, and there are others as well, we can think of tons, but one that I might try if I were a person who is making less money and I'm uncomfortable with this person's paying for me all the time, I might say, for one, like, let's have if it's for gifts, let's have a spending limit on gifts. I don't want you to spend anything more than this on me, because I can't spend anything more than that on you, and I want it to be fair. That's one example. Or another example would be, we have to trade off paying for dinner. I would be more comfortable with that. You can take me to as many fancy places as you want. I can't take you to fancy places, and I hope that you understand that. But I would like to pay for one meal, and you pay for another, and we'll trade off. All kinds of different ideas, and if that hopefully helps you feel better about the situation, that is a wonderful way to do it. And I completely agree. If it's something that's truly making you uncomfortable for your own principles, or just because it's how you feel about it, yeah, you should be listening to yourself as well and exploring that. Very good point.
Yeah. So that's the first part to their question. The second part was about the gift for Valentine's Day. I'm a huge believer in sometimes the best gifts aren't the most expensive ones, but they're how it's delivered. And so, for example, you could get him a nice picture of the two of you guys framed for him to, like, put at his desk. Or you could make him a playlist on Spotify of, like, you know, the songs that you like.
That's
or like
free.
you could even if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, you could cook for them one night. Or
Dude, if some girl sent me a
bring...
podcast or a playlist, I'd be touched, man. That's
that would be sweet. You could you could cook dinner, or you could breakfast in bed or something. Or you could, spend some money, get some supplies, have a picnic. You could.
If you're an artist, you can always make them something.
Yeah, you can make them something. You could.
I mean, you don't have to be an artist to do that. You could be really bad at making them things, and I'm sure they'll love it anyway.
Yeah, certainly. You could give them a massage. I was gonna say, I think that there's tons of.
Be good at those, though. Don't be bad at that one. No one wants that as a gift.
I think that there's tons of different ideas that don't cost a lot of money, but I think a lot of folks, I think guy and girl heard massage. I'm like, oh yeah, shoot, massage, especially if you don't get those often.
You better believe it.
Absolutely, foot massage. Folks should definitely take that in.
Yeah, seriously, 35-minute massage. Boom.
I was gonna say, what? You get the feet, the back, the shoulders, and say, folks would love that. Who is it? What's up?
But sorry, that was our producer. They were telling us that we're doing a really good job for the whole one of you that's watching right now.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting moment. Yeah, so I think that there's tons of different ways that you can, make a person feel good for Valentine's Day without breaking the bank. And, making them know. I think that the most important part of Valentine's Day is feeling loved. And
right. Having your person feel special and love that they're with you.
I just thought of.
Come on, man.
You go to 7-Eleven, they have the DVD section?
Yeah.
You just pick out 2 or 3 bad DVDs and cuddle up.
That's
and watch something random.
I would do that.
I was gonna say, I find good DVDs there all the time. I was gonna say for $5 or cheaper, you get 3 DVDs for who knows.
One time I found a series called Evil Bong, and let me tell you, when you are in college and you are having those days where you have your own Evil Bong, and you're just sitting there watching that movie, it's a good time. You just cuddle up with another person. That's perfect. You could do that all day, watch that, the whole series, and that would be a great night of just laughs. And it would be probably all the movies at 7-Eleven are $4, $3. They're super cheap.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I was going to say that's a good one. There's so many.
Yeah.
You could even write them a letter.
That's a good one.
You could say, I didn't have any money, but I wanted you to have this.
That's touching.
You could pour your heart out to them, tell them how, they turn your rainy days into sun.
Which, if you have more time and you're kind of petty, you could save, kind of petty is the good one. You could save all the receipts from all the lunches that they paid for that you hate so much. And you could turn them into something like a hat, or I'm not a visual artist. Hopefully you're more visual than me. I don't know, but some kind of paper mache and be this is from all the receipts that you paid for. It's very extra. Trust me, it's super extra. But that's even an idea, is you can always take things that are in your daily life and based on the presentation of whatever it is, whether it's a joke or it's something special, something romantic, but the way that you give it to them, that's really a big part of what matters. I completely agree.
Yeah. And so I think that that would be our best advice for you. You don't have to break the bank, and you shouldn't feel bad about them spending money, but at the same time, don't let them spending money be a way to control you, or don't let that allow them to be, the reason that they win arguments,
Indeed.
There's a way to show gratitude without showing submission.
Here's a good one for a gamer. If they have been talking about getting into like some car games, and you know that they don't have it, but you can't afford GTA 5, get them GTA 4 because it's a better game anyway. Yeah, you like how I moved into that gaming news topic? Today, we're talking about why GTA 4 is better than GTA 5 online. How do you like that one? Come on. Good switch up. Do you have anything else to say to our dear shade individual?
6 out of 10 switch up.
6 out of 10. Rude.
Yeah, GTA 4. I think the story is better than GTA 5.
Agreed.
I think the map
Nico
is better.
Bellic is an interesting character.
I think if you combine, I think especially if you combine all 3 of GTA stories, because remember you have you can also be, what's that guy's name? You can be Nico. You can be I think
Tony.
Nick in the Battle Game. No.
Oh yeah, that's right.
His name
You're
is
right.
Nick. Nick is the narrator from The Great Gatsby.
Interesting, but I know who you're talking about.
Tony is like Luis.
Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And Gay Tony, and then there's the Lost in the Town.
I haven't played that.
You haven't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one's really good. When you're in that motorcycle game. If you line all 3 of those up with GTA 5 story, I don't even think you can compare.
For real?
I think the map is better for GTA 4. Yeah, I personally think that GTA 5 has a better online system. There's more to do. There's more to do.
There is more to do
online. But GTA 4's map superiority is so significant. Online.
Yeah, it's a more interesting game, map-wise. For sure.
Yes, I think that it kind of levels it out in a lot of ways. I
still have a vivid memory of the map layout in GTA 4. I've gone up and down those streets so many times. Like, I can tell you exactly when to turn left, exactly where there's a shortcut. Like,
remember earlier, Pablo was playing, and he goes, what did he say? He was talking about bowling in GTA 5. I was like, oh, it's right by the docks, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, no, big dog, that's GTA 4.
Yep.
GTA 5 don't have bowling. He was like, what? No. We were like, no, big dog. Like, GTA 4 was a nice map that etched right inside your brain.
It was perfect.
So I'll say that much. Whether it's better than GTA 5, I don't know. I think that is tough to say.
It's a long-standing debate.
I think Red Dead.
There are some cool features. Oh well, you would.
Red Dead
Mr. Cowboy over here. Well, why don't you hit us with the fast?
I'm sitting here starring in a Western. Honestly, we don't really have a fast break tonight. I mean, we hit you with some hockey news. Capitals' offense is amazing. Its defense is suspect. You should, if you're a Caps fan like myself, you should definitely be worried because that defense is suspect. The Bruins got their offense going, which means Big Bear is scary. The Hurricanes just knocked off the Lightning, which also give them, I was going to say it's hurricane season. They say there's a storm surge, is their big thing. So there's, a lot going on in the hockey world.
They said they've never seen lightning drop so fast. That's the...
Come
on. That was good.
7 out of 10. 8. 7.5. 7.5. No, we'll give you the 8. We'll give you the soft.
Got the 8.
We'll give you the 8. No. So, basketball news. Well, I guess the only thing I can say is the boys from Rocky Top are terrible. They play Kansas this Saturday, and if they don't win, I won't know what to say.
You won't be saying Rocky Top.
College basketball. Nobody watched college basketball. It's dead. 86 college basketball. No, the only thing to really talk about for the fast break are these stocks. I was going to say, honestly, no. These stocks are the only thing to talk about. So tomorrow night, we're going to have Market Matt on here live. It's going to be a Market Matt.
He's bringing a steel chair.
He's running in. He uses it on shade.
No,
with a DDT.
He's going to be using it on all the Vince McMahons of Wall Street. That's
the Vince McMahons of Wall Street. There you go. No, tomorrow we're gonna have a special with him. You won't hear anything politics, nothing virtual dating, nothing gaming, no fast breaks, no nothing. Just 110%. We're talking the stocks. We're talking Wall Street. We're talking. I mean, it's so significant, you know. Like you have to think, the ordinary people got together and did exactly what they do on Wall Street, and Wall Street didn't like it.
They didn't. You know why? Because they were doing good for themselves, and that means that Wall Street can't do as well for themselves as they'd like.
Yeah, it's
greed.
It's disgusting. It disgusts a lot of people. It disgusts me, and so we'll definitely have that conversation more tomorrow. Shade, if you could start playing us off, thank you, my good man. Well, we're almost through the week. It's Thursday night. It's night. You guys did good this week. No, seriously. You pulled through, and I hate these people.
That's our producer again, telling us we're going over our time. And for each minute that we go over, we're getting our pay docked. So
no, well, like I said, y'all been fantastic. Y'all been fantastic viewers. We appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, share, and tune in tomorrow for Market Matt.
Market Matt. Directly at what time should we tell them?
We'll release a time. What time?
We'll be letting you guys know on Facebook. Right?
We'll be letting you know on Facebook, indeed.
All right. Well, take care from 86.5 to 5.
It's your boy Jackie C.
And Shade.
And Shade EV. And you all have a wonderful night.